Have you ever had the feeling that you are the only one in the room who is truly awake? While everyone else is chatting about the weather or the stock market or what happened on the television last night, you are seeing the scaffolding behind the set. You're noticing the quiet desperation in a smile, the unspoken agreement in a culture to ignore the one terrifying and beautiful question that hangs in the air. What if I told you that this feeling, this sight, is one of the most dangerous gifts a human being can possess? Now, don't get too excited. I'm not talking about seeing ghosts or having X-ray vision. That would be rather convenient, wouldn't it? A neat little party trick. Oh, look, I can see the skeleton of the man who is boring me to death. No, no. The vision I speak of is far more subtle and consequently far more perilous. What we are discussing is the ability to see the patterns others miss, to feel the currents of reality that flow beneath the surface of what we call normal life. It's the perception of the silent music to which the universe dances, while most people are only hearing the clumsy, booming bass line. And the first and most immediate danger is loneliness. When you see what others do not, you initiate a divorce from the collective dream. You are, in a sense, excommunicating yourself. The shared myths, the common anxieties, the tribal goals, they begin to feel like a play performed by actors who have forgotten they are acting. And you, sitting in the audience, can no longer lose yourself in the story. You see the sweat on the actor's brow, the frayed edge of the costume, the stagehand moving in the shadows. And what do? Do you stand up and shout, "This is all a performance"? They will likely have you removed. Or worse, they will pity you. They will call you mad, a cynic, a nihilist. They will offer you their little remedies, a new job, a vacation, a pill to cure you of your vision, to pull you back into the comforting, warm darkness of the cave. This is the first cliff you stand upon, the cliff of isolation. And from here, many jump back. They pretend they never saw the light. They rub their eyes, mutter about an overactive imagination, and rejoin the chorus. The fear of being cast out is, evolutionarily speaking, a fear of death. To be ostracized from the tribe once meant certain extinction. That biological alarm bell is still ringing in your skull. But for you, the one who has seen, can you truly go back? That is the first question. But it is merely the doorway, because if you choose not to go back, if you choose to step further out of the cave, you will soon discover that the loneliness was merely the initiation. The real danger lies in what the light truly reveals. Not just about the world, but about yourself. So, what is it that you're seeing? Let's talk about the architecture of the collective dream. It's built with very specific materials. The primary material is language. Words floating on the screen: money, success, nation, God, self. The words look solid at first, then begin to pixelate, dissolve into static, revealing they are made of smaller, meaningless symbols. We are born into a world that is already described. We are given a map, a magnificent, detailed map of the territory of life. This is good, this is bad, this is important, this is trivial, this is you. And we are taught to navigate using this map so thoroughly that we forget the territory even exists. We live inside a web of definitions. The person who begins to see is the one who suddenly looks up from the map and sees the actual landscape, and they experience a profound shock. The map is wrong. Or, more accurately, it is a gross oversimplification. The word tree is not the living, breathing, sap-filled, photosynthesizing miracle standing before you. The word I is not the flowing, changing, boundless awareness that you feel yourself to be. You see that we are all, in a way, hypnotized by a spell of symbols. And to see this is to feel the first tremor of the ground beneath your feet. The ground, you realize, is not ground at all. It is a collective agreement, and agreements can be broken. Now, you might be thinking, but this sounds wonderful, to be free of the map, to see reality directly. And in many ways, it is the beginning of all true wisdom, but it is also the beginning of a tremendous burden, because you are now responsible for navigating without a map in a world where everyone else is still fervently following theirs and will become agitated if you suggest their prized map is a fiction. The second material of the collective dream is time. We are haunted by the ghost of tomorrow and shackled by the corpse of yesterday. The collective dream is utterly obsessed with time. Save for retirement. Your biological clock is ticking. You are running out of time. This creates a pervasive, low-grade anxiety that fuels the entire engine of society. It makes you work jobs you don't enjoy, to buy things you don't need, to impress people you don't like, all for a future that never quite arrives. The one who sees begins to perceive the present moment, the eternal now. They feel it not as a concept, but as a reality. They see that life is only ever happening here, in this breath, and this realization is violently at odds with the world. To refuse to be anxious about the future is seen as irresponsible. To not be burdened by past mistakes is seen as unaccountable. You become a heretic of the clock. And the third and most potent material is the illusion of the separate self. The collective dream is built on the foundational story of you as a skin-encapsulated ego, a pilot inside a body, a fragile thing that was born and will die and must protect itself at all costs. This I is the central character of the personal drama. But when you truly start to see, this is the first illusion that begins to crack. You notice that the I that you think you are is as transient as a cloud. It's a collection of memories, habits, and reactions. There is no solid, fixed entity in there. The feeling of being a separate self is a convincing and very useful illusion. But it is the source of all fear, because a separate thing is a vulnerable thing. To see through this illusion is the greatest shock of all. It is simultaneously liberating and terrifying. If there is no I to protect, then who are you? What are you? This is the precipice. This is the point of no return. To see the constructed nature of language, the tyranny of time, and the illusion of the self is to have the very flaw of your existence give way. And as you fall, you will ask yourself the only question that matters. If all of this is a dream, then what is dreaming it? The answer to that question is the heart of the danger and the beginning of the second and most turbulent act of this journey. So, you've seen behind the curtain. The initial awe has faded, and now you are left in the silent, vast backstage of reality. This is Act 2. This is where the danger becomes practical, psychological, and acutely personal. You are now in the labyrinth. The first minotaur you will meet is paralysis. When all social games are seen as games, when all conventional goals are seen as arbitrary, what is left to do? Why pursue wealth if it's just a number on a screen? Why seek fame if it's just the echo of a name in a forgotten canyon? Why build a career when it's just a sophisticated way of rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic? The goal was never to escape the dream. The goal was to dream consciously. You realize that the paralysis came from taking the game too seriously. Even in your rejection of it, the dissonance came from believing the two worlds were separate. The spiritual ego came from a subtle, lingering belief that you, as a separate entity, could have the vision. Let it all go. The resolution is not an answer, but a way of moving. It is to become what the tarot calls the fool. The fool is not an idiot. The fool is the one who steps off the cliff, not in despair, but in faith, knowing that the ground and the air are all part of the same reality. The fool plays the game with absolute abandon, knowing it is a game. This is the dance of the awakened fool. First, they embrace playful engagement. You no longer work for the future. You play in the present. Your job, your relationships, your hobbies, they become your art forms. You are not the anxious pilot trying to get the plane to a destination. You are the dancer, and the dance is the destination. You engage with the world not because you have to, but because it is an expression of the boundless creativity of the universe happening through you. You pay your taxes as a dance. You have a conversation as a dance. You face a challenge as a dance. The second principle is compassionate secrecy. You understand that you cannot and should not try to wake everyone up. That is a form of violence. You respect the dream of the other. You see their suffering not as foolishness, but as a part of their current path. You do not shout from the rooftops that everything is an illusion. Instead, you offer a glass of water to someone who is thirsty. You offer a kind word to someone who is afraid. You act with compassion within the dream, because compassion is the most real force in any reality. Your wisdom is not spoken, it is lived. It is a secret you carry that changes how you touch the world. I invite you to explore further. In the description below, you will find a link to our newsletter, The Conscious Dreamer. You can also subscribe to this channel and ring the bell. Our community is a sanctuary for those who see, a place to remember that you are not alone in the labyrinth. But do not do it out of obligation. Do it as the fool would, as part of the play, as an expression of your curiosity. Thank you for listening. Thank you for seeing. Now, go and dance.